How's it going, guys? My name is Brandon Quick. I'm here out of Dallas, Texas, and I just wanted to say hello to everybody at Valley Kata Jiu-Jitsu. I'm 37 years old. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, originally underneath Jamie Walsh, who's a Jean-Jacques Machado black belt out of California. I originally from California, but I moved to Texas about 12 years ago. And right now I train with Chris Brennan, who I'm sure all the Japanese fans know from Pride Fighting. I train with Chris Brennan in Dallas. That's basically a little intro for me so you guys can know I made Fade to Black 1. Fade to Black 1 was my first Chokes DVD. It was done in Japanese as well too, so that's I'm sure it had a lot of circulation going on over there. Fade to Black 1 was, man, a super seller. I know that it put me around the world in terms of teaching. I've taught in 21 countries now. I would say that the majority of them stemmed from the first Fade to Black DVDs. It was originally a chokes only DVD. Sometimes it may go from a choke to a joint lock, but it's primarily chokes, head and arm chokes, guillotines, gaiters, darces, reverse arm triangles, Peruvian neckties, and ultimately the Japanese necktie, which is one of my absolute favorite. It's now obviously a move that you can do on the UFC video game, the Darce choke and the Japanese necktie. I didn't invent either one of those. I don't claim to have invented either one. I actually learned the Darce from Jason Mayhem Miller originally in Hollywood, California when I was training at Legends Gym. And of course he fought in Japan as well too. You guys all know Jason Mayhem Miller. So he originally taught me from half guard, and it was just a basic move from half guard, and I still had my leg in. And I ended up realizing I got long arms, you know, and I can get the head and arm chokes a lot. And so instead of concentrating on other things, I concentrated real heavily on the head and arm chokes for a while, and I got really good at it. And that's why Jake from budovideos, we ended up making that first DVD, and we turned into 10 years later. After that DVD had a lot of popularity. Now we're 10 years later, so it was done in 08 and released in 09. And we had definitely a lot of popularity from it. I was able to go to places all over the United States and, like I said, the world. And it was from that popularity of those DVDs, it was a really hot thing. Darce chokes took off. You know, the different arm triangles have always been there, but the Darce chokes and variations with the gator choke, some people call it the anaconda, really took off. I was also a brown belt at the time, and like any person who's a brown belt, you go through phases, you figure things out. You're still going through a game of learning, and you haven't quite made it to black belt. So I did a really big learning phase of going through all the head and arm chokes, and we did that first DVD. Then 10 years later, why did we make the second one? We made that second. Now we have Fade to Black 2, just released from budovideos.com. You got it in apps, on demand streaming, and also DVD format, Blu-ray DVD. So the reason we made the second one is like all of jiu-jitsu evolves, right? I explained in the video how we do like classic. I used to do old school guillotines. Everyone just grabbed the guard and pulled the head. Now we angle our elbow, we get off to the side, we throw our leg over one side of the back. It's because even the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu are evolving, let alone the techniques that are coming out that are new and evolving, and a new series of techniques. Even the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu are evolving. That's one of my favorite things about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So the choke game, after 10 years after the DVDs came out, the choke game has evolved twice as much as well too. Certain things I did in the first DVD, I don't do anymore, or I don't do so much. Some things I absolutely do, or there's new variations and new setups. Another things, I got a little bit older. Like I said, I'm 37 now, so the speed game of no-gi, I tried to slow it down in other places and move in the clinch, like cradling people. That's on the DVD as well too. If I cradle people, I can get them to slow down, set up the chokes, and instead of just trying to slip it in. I don't really do it from half guard anymore. I know that was a big thing when I first put it out, was about catching the Darce choke from half guard. I usually tend to pass or catch it with different setups now. So it's really evolved. I'm glad that we got to do the next set of DVDs. Fade to Black 2 is going to be awesome. It's going to recircle some popularity into that choke game, and hopefully people see the new improvements that I've made. Defenses, counters, all that kind of good stuff is on there as well. Japanese BJJ to me, it doesn't make a bigger impression or a lower impression than than in another country. But for me, as an American and as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, I always pay homage to the lineage of Jiu-Jitsu and going back to Japan. For us, the Mecca is always to go back to Japan, and the lineage goes back. I have samurais painted on my school walls by an artist because it goes Brazil and then back to Japan, of course. So we always have that. The likeness and pay homage to the history of Japanese Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, of course. But in terms of competition, I know that there's more and more that are medaling. I know that the sport is growing worldwide. As a matter of fact, I own the American Grappling Federation. Hopefully some of you Japanese have heard it. Maybe not, but we run about 31 tournaments in America. We're all over Europe. This year's our first time to go to Brazil. We're going to Australia, so we also want to make another an AGF, which is the American Grappling Federation, AGF in Tokyo or in Japan. Really excited for that. We're making a worldwide Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament organization. It's something that I do and have been doing since 2011. I teach, but that's also my main full-time job is traveling and doing the tournaments on the weekends. So I hope to visit Japan again, not just for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but for the tournaments as well too, and get involved in the big scene that way and help grow the sport that way as well. One of my favorite things to talk about when we talk about joint locks and chokes and what do I favor more, for sure in the end the choke is always the best. If a person's on drugs, if a person is way stronger than you, can't get their arms straight or bent, you're gonna have to choke them because nobody can stop unconsciousness. They can get their arm broken and keep fighting, but nobody can stop unconsciousness. So I've always pursued the choke over the joint lock. I've even paid for it in tournaments. I've snapped some bones here and there in tournaments before, and the guy didn't tap. If I would have choked him, I would have won the match. So whether it's sport competition or it's self-defense, I prefer the choke always over the joint lock. There's nothing wrong with joint locks at all, but in the end, if I had a choice, I'd put chokes over joint locks. Now, one of the things that's really cool about Fade to Black 1 and 2 is we have the Japanese necktie. I actually named that. If people don't realize, I 100% named that. It came from me seeing Shinya Aoki do it. He was one of my, absolutely not one of my, he's my favorite Japanese MMA fighter. I've always liked his grappling. I've liked his mentality. I like the way he's aggressive finisher when it comes to grappling as well. Everyone that he fights is scared of the ground game. So when I was younger, there was a Peruvian black belt named Tony D'Souza who fought in the UFC as well, but he was choking people from the front headlock in a different way. So we call that the Peruvian necktie. Because of the way I saw Shinya Aoki doing it, I named the move that he was doing the Japanese necktie. Now it's a move in the UFC video game. So is the Darce choke. Like I said, I learned that one from Jason Mayhem Miller. I didn't invent the Japanese necktie or the Darce choke, but I did coin the move and show the world some of it there. And it was really cool to give some credit to Shinya Aoki and to the Japanese mixed martial arts world and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world. And now there's part 2 in Fade to Black where you're going to be able to do more combinations and more back takes and chain wrestling as well too. Definitely want to say thank you. Definitely want to see Japan again. I would love to go there. I'd love to see you guys. If you'd like me for a seminar, if you'd like to attend AGF, if you'd like to train with me, contact me on Facebook. My Instagram is also BQuickJujitsu. You can contact me on email at brandon@americangrapplingfederation.com. And check out my YouTube. My YouTube has a ton of videos too. It's Brandon Quick is the name. I want to give a shout out to all the Valley Kata Jiu-Jitsu viewers out there. I greatly appreciate you watching. And also to Budo Videos for producing the DVDs and giving me another chance to show my techniques.
10年前にフェードトゥブラックパート1収録した全てノーギチョークだったアームトライアングル、ダースゲーター、ギロチンなどだね。10年経ちゲームは進化した。精度を上げたもの、そして一部やらなくなったものも、セットアップを変えたもの、新たにセットアップを加えたもの、今回はゲームの進化についてデモンストレーションになるよ。ティーネイジャーで柔術を始めた時は相手の頭を抱え足首をクロスで引いていた。相手は肩越しに手を回して クラシックエスケープへ。肩でプレッシャーをかけてくる。首を取りスライドイン。ダースから相手がファーサイドの膝をプッシュしてきて腰を入れてきたならばフィニッシュするのが難しくなる。手をつけポスト、そしてパス。ここからスイッチ、サイドから攻める。ファーサイドの手をつきプッシュ、たくさんのプレッシャーをかけるチョークだ。